Welcome to Booked All Night, the podcast where hot takes meet craft notes and no one gets enough sleep. I'm Jess.
I'm Katie.
I'm Julia.
I'm Maggie. Get ready for unhinged hot takes,
A whole lot of books,
midnight giggles,
and zero shame. Grab your blankets, booklets, it's time to get booked all night. Welcome to Booked All Night, the podcast where hot takes meet craft notes and nobody gets enough sleep. I'm Jess.
I'm Kaylee.
And today we are joined by Anastasia Arellano, author of Between the Shadows, as well as some sort of short fiction, which the Between the Shadows will be available next April. I believe you said yes. April 6th, 2027.
I know.
We do have a pre-order link in the description. Very cool. So, welcome to the pod again.
Thank you for having me again. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yay!
So, yeah.
Yeah, and once again, tell us all about Between the Shadows.
Okay, maybe I can make it better because I was kind of tripping over my words last time. So, Between the Shadows, I started writing it back in 2023. It started off kind of as like a fun sort of summer campy story, but then it quickly devolved into horror because I decided to turn it into a speculative horror that's like Goosebumps meets Black Mirror. So yeah, it's set at a summer camp for troubled youth, and it follows a little ragtag group of teens that are navigating these like weird changes in the camp. And there's also a sapphic romance because I always have to add in a sapphic romance to everything I write. And yeah, it comes out next April. So
that's exciting. That's like both a long way away and also
not
a
very long
not very long away. You're going to be like next April, like, wait, did I time travel? What is happening? Yeah.
It already feels like that because I got the news that my small indie press was going to accept it and publish it last March. And here we are already. And I'm like, how has it been a year? Like, yeah. I'm not even done with the edits yet.
What are you going to do on like publication day? Just going to like shut your internet off and be inside?
Yeah, I'm gonna hide under the covers and just be like, oh my God, is this real? I always thought that like I'd be that author that's like, oh my God, it's publication day, yay! And now I'm like, no, I'm definitely gonna be like, hide.
Well, make sure you come out from under those covers and give yourself a little treat, like an iced coffee or a glass of champagne or something.
Yeah,
you deserve it.
You'll see the hand come out from under the covers, and feel around for the iced coffee, and then go back under.
I have a funny story about hand coming out from under the cover. So one morning my husband was trying to like surprise me with cinnamon buns, and he put the plate next to me. He put like on my nightside table, and he didn't realize I was awake, just like curled up, and I just like reached out and grabbed it, and he was like, ah! And it just monster from under the sheets. I'm like, ah. So this very first game is a quick round of superlatives. Just a little yearbook. You know, most likely to, least likely to. So the first one is most likely to survive a horror movie.
Skylar. Yeah, my main character. She definitely would. Because she's kind of doing it now in the book, so.
Spoilers, she survives, oh my God. No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I should probably be careful with spoilers.
Well, the book's got a year. Maybe it'll edit, and you'll be like, and just because I spoiled it on Booked All Night, and this is their fault now. She's dead now. This is their fault. Yeah. Most suspicious place at Camp Wildflower.
The woods.
The woods are always suspicious.
Oh yeah.
The first person to realize something is deeply wrong.
The author. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Me. So that would probably be Ollie.
Okay.
Yeah, my other female main character.
The camper most likely to start a rebellion.
Skylar, 100%. She's an angry little cinnamon roll. What can I say?
And this last one is your personal writing kryptonite.
What do you mean my personal writing kryptonite?
Oh, like your So I know for me, my writing kryptonite is like the word side. By the time I'm done the draft,
Oh,
it's there
yeah.
like 5 gajillion times. It's like half
Mhm.
my word count, you know? Like,
Yeah, that would definitely be smiled.
oh
My characters smile a lot, and I'm like, sometimes I'm rereading it back, going, "Why are they smiling? Something
they're running
horrible's
for
about
their
to happen,"
lives. Yeah.
with a smile on their face.
She's dead. She smiled. Wait, what?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Such
At
is the
some
writing
point,
process.
especially with dialogue, I get so like bored of trying to think of other things than saying said
Mm,
that I just go back to said and I'm like, I'll just rewrite that later.
Yeah. Sometimes
oh.
I'll also put in like blank, just I'll capitalize the word blank and just leave it
Mhm.
in there if I can't think of a word. It's kind of like my little placement marker.
One that I'm glad I have since overcome was I used to leave like placeholder notes
Mhm.
if I would get stuck and be like, well, something connects A to B here, and then I move on to B. And I turned my MFA project in with those notes in it because I never went back to write those scenes. And they were like, Jessica, Jessica, what have you done? And I'm like, obviously not written my whole thing because I I hit my word count and that was all I cared about. That's fine.
That's too funny. I've that's definitely pretty bad. Like I think the worst I've ever gotten was just when I've done submissions for like queries and that I've sent because I usually have like a template
Yeah.
thing that I use for most of my query letters. And so there's been times where I'll have like, hi, insert agent's name.
Mhm.
And I've like left that in, or I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be a rejection. I just know it.
That's me. Or I've misspelled their name. Yeah.
I've
Mhm.
misspelled names
It's
too.
bad. The only thing I can say in our defense is, like, I understand that the agents get thousands of emails a day. I understand that. But we're researching thousands of them,
Mhm.
and I can think of at least 6 Hillarys that I've queried that all spell it differently, and
Yeah.
it's like, can't I just write Dear Agent? I feel like that would just save us all a lot of time. I understand it's impersonal, but like, holy hell, it would just save
Or
so
even
much
to
time.
Yeah.
whom it may concern.
Yeah, to whom I want to represent me. Like something just
To my future
ambiguous.
agent.
Yeah, to my future agent. I love you so much. I will pimp out pictures of my dog if you represent me and get me published. Like,
I mean,
you
that
can
would work. That would work on me as an
right? You can
agent.
pet him at every event. It's fine. Like, it's so bad.
All right, let's talk about the book Between the Shadows.
That's
Okay.
silly. This is an author
That's
interview.
what
Why
we're
would we
here
talk about the
for.
book?
I was like, oh, I might get off not having to talk about my book.
Oh no, we're not gonna let
Mm-mm.
you off the hook that easy.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So, Camp Wildflower is such a
Mhm.
perfect horror setting. It's isolated, full of authority figures that you're supposed to trust, and packed with teenagers who already feel like outsiders. Because, I mean, come on, teenagers at camp. What made summer camp the right place for this story?
Well, it started off kind of like because I've been getting into like nostalgia a lot lately.
Hmm.
As a '90s baby, you know, seeing growing up and being in this real horrible world, I'm kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, my childhood actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was when I was
Hmm.
in my childhood. So I'm looking back at it now, going, I really was growing up in a great time. So I've, been feeling really nostalgic. And one of the things that I missed about summer was, as a kid, was summer camp, and I never got a chance. Like I do like the day summer camps where you go to like do activities and stuff, but nothing
Okay.
like staying overnight and camping in the woods. I did that for like a school thing like I think in
Mhm.
8th grade. But I never got to like properly do like a summer camp. So I was like, that would have been really cool to do as a kid. So let me think about it as, in a YA perspective. And it started off going to be all, cute and nostalgic. And then I got laid off from my job. So I had a lot of time to write and a lot of like depression and anxiety and stuff that followed that layoff. So it quickly turned into a horror. And it made for a perfect setting because it was isolated and outdoors.
I did
Mhm.
a similar thing with a piece that I had written where it had started as like a mystery and students are like getting expelled, and then it moved up and I'm like, well, now they're getting murdered. And I did like a find replace on expulsion and murder, and it has been a running joke with like my writing friends, like how much murder is too much murder, and the answer is
Never
7.
enough.
Wait, no, there's an
Okay.
answer. Because it took place over like 3 months, and if like 7 of your students got murdered in 3 months, you'd be like, something strange is happening. Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but beyond that, yeah. I do love the transition into young adult from, even if it was like a younger young adult, and then you're just kind of like, you know what? My life is kind of crashing, and like it's influencing work, and I think it's very cathartic to then write something spooky and kind of overcome those things on
Oh,
text.
yeah. It definitely was cathartic because I don't think I'd ever been that depressed or just anxious in my life because it was at a time when we were like saving up for a house and that kind of put that on the back burner, and I wasn't sure like what was happening with that. And it was really cathartic to be able to like work that out on a manuscript and have some semblance of control, because I was like, I'm getting rejected from like agents and jobs alike. At least this is the one thing that I control: how many kids die in a book. I know I had to add that last part of how many kids die in a book.
I can make as many people die as I want. Quote, Anastasia and Arellano.
And we all know that murder on paper is fine and acceptable, but murder in real life is not. So
yes, that's
very
a
cathartic.
public service announcement from Booked All Night. Yes.
Oh God, I'm gonna get you guys canceled.
No, I remember I was never into like horror as a kid. I wasn't allowed to be. And so when I met my now husband and was getting more into horror movies, I was also going to university and we had to write a grotesque story. And I dabbled in horror when I was younger, like Edgar Allan Poe-ish kind of stuff. But I just remember like my grotesque story being so like cathartic because I was just being so evil writing this, story that I could not do in real life.
Almost everyone I know that writes horror, thriller, suspense, they are like the most bubblegum pop, like bubbly, nicest people, and they're all like, and then they killed her with a pencil. It just,
Yeah.
like, the dichotomy between page and author is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I've been making that discovery about myself as well, where I'm like, wow, my imagination can go to some really dark places, but I consider myself overall a nice, happy person.
You seem it, yes,
yeah.
All right. So next question before we get, banned.
Yeah.
Skylar and Ollie start off as reluctant bunkmates. And then I think their connection grows into something deeper as danger escalates around them. What was the most important emotional thread you wanted readers to feel as their relationship evolves? Trauma bonding.
Oh, that is a good question. Well, yeah, so that is trauma bonding. I guess like the thing that I would want readers to take away from this book as a whole is just sort of acceptance of yourself, acceptance of other people as they are, because like a lot of the the teens and stuff, the characters in the book, like they're sent to a place for troubled youth, but there's nothing really that wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of, also it sort of looks at the, parent-child relationships that we might have in life as well, of just, kind of having to accept others in our family as they are, and just, love them and stuff. So that's been something that's been kind of, thematic in my life. Of I've definitely, like, if you were to ask my parents, what's your child going to be like in 30 years, they probably would not be picturing this. I'm completely different to what they were expecting, but like I do have to give them credit that they have been, very loving and supportive all the way of my, coming out, being a writer, just being this quirky cat lady, plant lady individual. So there's some of that mixed in as well, because yes, but overall I think the main theme of the book is acceptance.
I like that.
I completely understand that coming out as an author is very hard for parents to accept.
Yeah.
That's just a joke. That's just a joke.
Well, it is true. Like my parents have a little double whammy where they're like, oh God, like not only is she gay, she's gonna be a writer too.
She's going into the arts. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yeah. I always find that I have two things. One, history will remember them as bunkmates. I feel it was important to say, right?
Yes.
But so both of my parents are very like science thinkers. My mother was a chemical engineer. My father designed kitchens. So one's like geometry, one's all science. And both of their kids went into the arts. My sister was a musician for a while, and like I went into writing. And I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but
yeah.
Audrey did turn that around. I do feel the need to shout out because she did a lot of work. She then eventually went into the neurosciences, but like our first pull was to the arts, and both of our parents are like, "Where did you get it from?"
And I feel comfortable sharing this because I know neither of them are going to listen. One, because they can't, and two, because they can't. But my parents were, I guess, I don't know how to phrase this, but were conservative Catholic Christian Republicans. So I grew up in that. But they also did community theater. We did community theater as a family.
Oh.
I still don't understand how that works, to be
I
honest with you.
I don't either. And it's funny because some of the actors that I met during this last production that we do remember my father, and they're just like, yeah, he never talked about politics with us, but when we befriended him online, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they're like, are you? I'm like, no, I'm completely opposite. This is completely opposite. But I remember when I came out, my dad was okay with it, and my mom was just not. And my dad was like, Paula, we have gay friends in the theater. And she's like, this is different. It's my daughter. And then I told my dad I wanted to go to school for acting, and he's just like, yeah, I think you should go into something more like business. And I'm like, no, you raised me like this.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Completely weird experience.
Yeah,
That's
but
funny.
it sounds similar in that, yeah, like my parents are very much like growing up, do whatever you want, try whatever you want, enjoy yourself. But then come college age, when I was like, I'm gonna be a writer, they're like, but you need to make money, so you do something that makes money. And I'm like, no. I refuse.
I think the most upset when I switched majors, I went through a lot of majors, as everybody on the podcast makes fun of me for. When I went into English secondary education, that was the most angry my mother was. She's like, oh, you can't be a teacher. What are you going to do for money? I was like, teach? Like, It's the most money-making field of the things that I'd chosen prior. What are you talking about? Like, she's like, you're gonna die and you're gonna live in a cardboard box. I'm like, so you agree teachers should make more money? I don't what are we arguing about? I don't get it.
Yeah.
And number 3, to get us away from the awkward conversation.
No, keep it awkward.
Keep it so awkward. I know Maggie has make it gay. We should just be like, make it awkward.
Make it awkward. Oh, I'm doing it. I'm writing it down. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that would make some great merch. Make it
Yeah.
awkward.
Make it gay is my favorite sticker in the store, by the way, just for everyone to know. You can just put it on everything. Order a whole bunch of them and just stick them on stuff.
I love that. So the blurb that you have on your book,
Mhm.
or I guess like that's going on to your book, it hints at the eerie transformations and sinister secrets lurking behind the camp's, in quotes, therapy. When you were building the mystery of Camp Wildflower, did you start with the secret first, or with characters who would eventually uncover it and find it as you went along?
Well, it kind of started out with just the first chapter, really. Like, I just started writing because sometimes, like, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but like, I'll get to a point in like one of my works in progress where I just need like a little step back. So I'll just kind of like take a few days, not look at it, and then just start writing, free writing, like whatever comes to mind. And that's kind of how Between the Shadows happened, where I started just free writing, some idea came to mind, and then I had like a first chapter, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's see where this goes. And then I tried sort of plotting it along, like I'm a little bit of a reformed pantser in that way, in that I'll try my best to make an outline, but then, yeah, sometimes the story just pops up and takes me on a wild ride where I'm like, oh, so this is where we're headed. Cool.
I like the flashlight method because I also like pantsing. I feel like a lot more kind of comes out that maybe you weren't expecting when you just sit down and just onto your keyboard. Yeah. But the flashlight method is like minimal outlining. So you're like, okay, I know I want A, B, and C to happen. And you write those out. And after whatever has come out of that section, you're like, oh, it could possibly go D, E, F, or G, H, I. And like you kind of have those and you can mull that over, as opposed to writing out more and just having that kind of chaotic no direction zone of the manuscript that you then go back and delete. Yeah, I like that one.
I'll have to try that one. I don't think I've heard of that one.
That one's fun. I know a lot of my writer friends also like the snowflake method, right? You start with like one sentence and you go around it, and I'm like, no, that's too much. Mm-hmm. That's too much planning and forethought.
Yeah, sounds a little too complicated.
That's no. It's ridiculous. That's so much planning. But I have friends that basically write an entire novel as an outline. Like the novel is just in an outline format. You know, and then they take it out, and I'm like, that is ridiculous. You are not in college anymore. You don't have to do MLA format. Please take it out. Stop doing this. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been that detailed in an outline. Like, yeah. Because, I've known some writers that if you ask them to like write like an outline, it would be like 20 pages long. Yeah. That to me is a whole chapter, have even a chapter and a half. So
I write Kidlit. That's like 5 chapters. Like that's insane. I have found like reverse outlining, so like doing my pantsing portion and then outlining what I've written, just so that I have like a quick reference of what's already come, so I don't have to keep going back and reading what I've had. That's also really helpful.
I've done that a little bit.
Who's talking?
Sorry.
Who's
I was going to say, I think mine's more like the flashlight method without being the flashlight method. where I have like a general idea of what I want to happen, but not exactly knowing how to get there. And then when I sit down and write, like things just pop into my head. I'm like, ooh, that's really good. And then that'll connect this and this and this. And then I give myself some time and ideas will pop into my head and then I go back to writing.
Yeah.
So I don't explore different versions. I do explore them, I just don't write them down and delete.
It depends, right? Because there's definitely this spot in the middle. I call it 20K limbo. Like, you get to that 20,000 word mark, and you have to start making decisions.
Yep.
And I hate it. I hate it so much, because I'm like, no, I've got like 1,000 ideas. How do you narrow it down?
That's usually when my best outlining happens, is at that 20K limbo of like, okay,
Yep.
I made it this far. I've written a couple chapters. What do I do?
Yeah. What is actually happening? Like, I don't know about like your short fiction, but like my ideas, when they come to me, it's just a hook. So it's like, oh, a Sandman who can't sleep, or a girl that gets like a vlogger who gets kidnapped live, or like expulsions mysteriously happening at school. Like and it's just that, and I'm like, cool. Anything else, brain? And my brain is just like, no, that's for you. You go figure that out. Like,
Yeah,
thanks.
my short fiction also kind of comes in hooks where I'm like, okay, it's gonna be this, like a mermaid museum, and then it's like, okay, but what's gonna happen in this mermaid museum? Oh, there's gonna be a sapphic romance. Okay, thank you, brain.
Yes.
Let's think of something new. Like,
There will be words followed by other words. Like, thanks. I'm gonna put my head through a wall while I write this. It's fine.
Yeah.
That loveliness brings us up to the first official game of the podcast, which is Space 'em or Embrace 'em.
Space 'em or embrace 'em. Okay, cool.
Okay, in this game, you are traveling through the cosmos with a cargo full of tropes and cliches, but all of a sudden you get pulled into a black hole. In order to escape, you must jettison the cargo until you reach a magic number that I have rolled that you can't know. You can only see 2 items at a time. You can choose to shoot them all out of the airlock if you want, but you cannot keep them all.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
So I just space them or erase
Yep.
them. Okay.
Yeah, I either keep them close because they're yours and they can't go anywhere, or they go out the airlock so that you lose the weight.
Okay, I hope I get this right.
Okay. So your first 2 are the creepy institution where something unethical is definitely happening, or summer camp horror.
Okay, can I keep both of them?
For now.
Okay.
The next one is friends to lovers romance, or the authority figure who insists everything is perfectly normal.
Authority figure who insists everything's perfectly normal.
Is that going out, or are we keeping that?
We're keeping that.
We're keeping that.
Yeah.
Out goes friends to groom. Found family among misfit teens, or we should definitely not split up situations.
Found family. We're keeping.
We're keeping, okay. Characters discovering hidden files or secret records, or the moment when someone realizes the adults can't be trusted.
Oh. The moment that they realize the adults can't be trusted. We're keeping that.
We're keeping that, okay. The final confrontation where everything is revealed, or bittersweet endings.
Final confrontation. I love a confrontation.
Bittersweet endings
really, probably because I don't really do confrontations in my real life, so I love writing them.
The very shower thought scene. So you're not down yet, you're not out, so we gotta go back through what is left, which begins with the creepy institution where something unethical is definitely happening, or summer camp horror.
Summer camp horror.
Okay, we're gonna keep it or jettison?
We're gonna keep it.
We're gonna keep it, okay. The authority figure who insists everything is perfectly normal, or a found family among misfit teens.
Misfit teens we're keeping because fuzzy feelings.
And the moment when someone realizes the adults can't be trusted, or the final confrontation where everything is revealed.
confrontation,
Keeping confrontation.
Yeah.
So congratulations, you have made it out of the black hole, and the only cargo you have left is Summer Camp Horror, Found Family Among Misfit Teens, and the final confrontation where everything is revealed.
Sounds like my book.
One time we played this, so I roll a d4 before we, when I set the game up. One time I rolled a 1, it was the most agonizing game to go through. This person's like, no, oh my god! It was so bad. It was just agonizing. Like, you gotta choose.
That sounds agonizing. I hate making choices like that.
Brett brings us back to questions.
Yeah, we have delved a little bit into your writing and your book a little bit before, but now we're going even further into your writing craft and reading.
Okay.
All right.
I thought you were going to say my psyche.
I don't think we have a lot of time for that.
Yeah, no.
Surprise, every interview of Booked All Night comes with a psychological evaluation.
Brought on by people who should not be evaluating anything in that nature.
Yes.
So we've discussed that you've written a significant amount of short fiction before you decided to publish this novel. So how did writing those short stories shape the way you approach pacing and tension in a longer narrative, like your book Between the Shadows?
Oh, okay. So it actually, I feel like novel writing for me is a little bit easier because I like to add on plots or twists and stuff. So it's easier for me to kind of organize my thoughts and be like, okay, this is all what's going to happen in this amount of time, or 70-ish thousand words. Versus I find that short fiction, it's much more challenging because you have to really get it concise, and there's no room for spare words or the plot being too thick, because then you have a lot to wrap up at the end and you don't want it to feel rushed and stuff. So I'm one of those that, I enjoy writing short stories, but I write them as more of a challenge, where it's let me see if I can craft something in a small amount of space, versus novels. I'm let's just have fun and see what happens. We can always chop things later.
Interesting.
I can't write short fiction to save my life. I write the way that I sleep, which is spread out like a starfish. I just need all of the space imaginable. Every time I had short fiction assignments in school, I was and I guess it ends there.
It's due in 20 minutes. We finish it now.
It's done now at this conversation, I suppose. I don't know. It was agonizing to me, especially flash fiction.
Yeah, I love short stories and short fiction. I like writing them.
Which is funny because I like reading short fiction.
Right.
But
my ADHD can't handle me sitting down and writing something for very long. And then I'll sit down and write short stories in short little bursts. And then at some point I'm really bored of this. I'm going to wrap this up.
It's so awful.
That's how my brain works.
My brain just says, okay, we've hit the 20,000-30,000 word mark. We're going to worry about this later. Let's start something new. And that's how I have 15 novels that are in varying stages of completion.
I was going to say, it sounds like you have a folder like I have where there's just at least 20 drafts of 20-ish thousand words. And they're never going to get finished because decisions have to be made, and I just won't. So
if I ever get to the 20,000 word mark, I think I would celebrate, because that's probably one of the longest things I've written.
Celebrate with a little treat of starting a new draft. Yeah, it's great.
That's way to celebrate.
And a nice coffee.
And a nice coffee. I'm sensing a theme today, Katie. Do you want a nice coffee?
I really want a nice coffee.
Yeah, Yeah, you're making me really want a nice coffee.
Yeah, I kind of want to go out and get some coffee.
I had planned to get a nice coffee for breakfast and then I didn't. And I was just like, now I'm like, I really want that iced coffee. So as someone with a master's in creative writing, what is one lesson that has stuck with you from the classroom?
Oh, I'd have to say, um, that's a good one. There was a couple ones that really stuck with me. One was just kind of finding your voice and then just like working with your voice. Like, don't try to fit yourself into something that it's not. Like, you're writing the story in this way for a reason, so just find out how to make it work. And the other one was from my advisor. Like, because he wrote like a lot of like historical fiction that made a lot of commentary on current Irish society and stuff like that. And he said that part of the reason for that is if you want to make commentary on something, or make people listen to something, you kind of have to separate it from the present so that they don't feel like they're being lectured to. You want them to kind of think. So to kind of like frame it with Oscar Wilde's quote of if you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh or else they'll kill you. It was kind of something like that, where it's like, well, if I can't make someone laugh, which jury's still out on that, I'm going to follow my advisor's advice and just kind of separate it. Like, historical fiction isn't necessarily my bag, but the genres are. So like sci-fi, fantasy, horror, like those are all genres where if you really read into them, you can get a lot of great messages about our current climate, just societal issues and stuff like that. So it's a great way to make people think without them thinking that you're making them think.
Genre fiction, genre fiction especially has such a great opportunity for every metaphor you could possibly think of. It just lends itself to that. Like your advisor had said, like, you don't want to just kind of come out and be like, you're doing it wrong. Like, you can just show it, because everybody can put themselves into some mysterious role in that genre fiction. But when you put it into something more contemporary or realistic, like historical fiction, people are like, well, I don't align with this character because I have never been rich in the 1800s. And it's like, okay, well, you don't have to align that way. And you certainly have never been a dwarvish princess either, but I see that you align with them just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love it in that sense. And it also, I know I bring this theory up all the time, but it is one of my favorite critical theories, and it's reader response, where like we come to a text with our experiences. So if you're trying to like make political commentary and people have never been in that political environment, that particular commentary is like,
it's going to get a little lost.
Yeah. And I know in like the critical theory world, everyone's like, oh, reader response. I'm like, but that's so important as a writer to understand that like you have a specific audience that you're writing for, and even if you are trying to reach someone who's not in your audience, if they don't know what you're talking about, that story is going to have a drastically different feel to them.
Right. Like, it's one of those, I feel like, with the whole reader response stuff, I feel the genres are a little bit easier for that breakdown, because you might not necessarily be able to understand, what it's like to grow up as a queer woman or a queer Hispanic woman. But if I can show you these struggles through the lens of, a elven princess or something, then it might resonate a little bit easier, or it might be a little bit easier to understand the concept of what I'm trying to create. So
So you describe yourself as someone who roams the landscape for inspiration. What does your creative process usually look like when an idea first sparks? Are you someone who outlines heavily, or do you prefer to go and discover the story as you go? I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but if you could just kind of explain it a little bit more in depth.
Well, it's a little bit of there's two ways where like, an idea takes form in my mind. So sometimes it will just be, I'll get an idea while I'm doing something mundane, and then I'll be like, okay, let me just start writing and see where it happens. And that's sometimes where like it'll flow, and it'll be like, oh, I've written, 5 new chapters of this random book, and now I'm going to think about it and outline it because I want to, kind of keep this momentum going. Or it'll be a case of, I'll have an idea. I don't really know where that idea is going. So I'll like go for a walk or like, sit by the sea or something and just sort of start to pull it out piece by piece, where I'll start, thinking about who the characters are, where the setting's going to be, what's the problem going to be. So yeah, I do try to like, now I'm trying my best to like outline things a little bit more, just because it gives me a fighting chance of finishing it. If I can at least say like, okay, this is all that's going to happen. But yeah.
That brings us to the second game of the podcast.
Yay.
So the second game is Never Have I Ever spoiled my own book. It's the whole title. Standard Never Have I Ever rules, except I am incredibly petty, and I'm not above things like never have I ever written a book called Between the Shadows.
Do I need alcohol for this?
No.
Okay.
No, I will be keeping track. If you have done 5 or more, you have to spoil something from beyond what you consider the first act of Between the Shadows.
Okay.
So, never have I ever gotten an iced coffee.
Yeah.
Never have I ever written a scene specifically to emotionally destroy my readers. Yeah. Never have I ever Googled something extremely suspicious for research. Yeah.
Pretty sure. Shout out to my FBI agent who's watching this,
right?
Probably.
Hey, Mr. FBI agent, just doing a little research. I do have a fun story about that one. So, I used to work, I'm currently disabled, so I stay at home, but when I was at my office job, I was working on a murder mystery for one of my master's projects, and I'd had a whole folder of decaying bodies and what they looked like at each stage so I could describe them properly, and my boss came over while I was working on that, and he was like, what? And the only answer that came to mind and came out of my mouth immediately was like, no, it's okay. It's for a project. I'm not helping myself. It's great.
He's like, hello, 911.
Yeah, he's like, excuse me, FBI?
All the missing people on the news?
Yeah. It was so bad. Never have I ever deleted thousands of words in a single editing session.
Yeah.
Never have I ever fallen in love with a side character who took over the story.
Yes.
Never have I ever written a scene that scared me while I was writing it.
Actually, no. Ooh. Yeah. I don't think I've like properly scared myself. Like, I've made myself cry while writing scenes of emotional weight, but like I've never, like the creepy scenes and stuff, I've never scared myself because I know that it's coming.
Yeah. That's
it's
fair.
Different
yeah.
if I'm like reading somebody else's book where I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? But I'm like, I know the Axeman is going to be right around the corner.
That's fair. You're like, I put him there. He's not scary. I see him. Never have I ever realized halfway through a draft that the villain was actually right.
No.
Never have I ever stayed up far too late because the scene just wouldn't let me stop.
Oh yeah. Too many times.
Never have I ever had a twist planned from the very beginning.
Yes. That was this book.
And never have I ever immediately started thinking about the next story before finishing the current one.
Oh, like everything that is ever going to be a duology of mine.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say you've done more than 5. Yeah. So you have to spoil something from beyond Act 1.
Okay. One of the characters is actually related to the villain.
Dun dun dun!
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's always a fun twist. That we just spoiled. Ha 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 ha.
But there's still other spoilers that have not been spoiled.
Like, they're not actually bunkmates.
Oh.
Oh god, no. Trust me, it's not that.
All right. So now we have chaotic sleepover question.
Okay.
You're trapped overnight in the mess hall at Camp Wildflower. What snack are you stealing to survive the night?
Slim Jims.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they're locked in like a little special cupboard and they don't taste like crap.
If you heard something strange in the woods after midnight, do you investigate, run, or pretend you've never heard anything?
Definitely. If you heard it, no, you didn't.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, like it's no, not going outside.
Yeah, my backyard is the woods. When I hear things, I'm like, hey, look at that, locking the door. It's good.
Yeah. Closing the window.
Yeah, just and the blinds. How did this chair get in front of the door? I don't know. It belongs there now. It's important.
This is like one of my favorite questions. If Camp Wildflower had a standard terrible summer camp talent show, what would everyone's talents be?
Oh, okay. So I honestly don't know what Skylar's would be. She's very much like, I don't want to be a part of that at all. Melanie would be dance. She would definitely be dancing, probably to Bad Bunny, little twerking queen from the Bronx. And Ollie, she does figure skating, so she'd probably do something along those lines, maybe like a dance routine as well. Jason would be doing something like physical, like showing off his physicality because he's kind of a jock. So, and Jeremy would be, he's like a theater kid, so he would definitely be doing some sort of either musical number or like a big tragic Shakespearean soliloquy.
You know what I have been seeing a lot of on Instagram, which is chef's kiss. There is one influencer who has been redoing movies as if they were Shakespeare, and she recently did Mean Girls. It's like, if you are from the continent of Africa, what is with your sunny continents? And I'm like, oh, it's, oh my god.
Oh, I need to watch that.
It's so funny. I love it.
You and your characters find a mysterious locked box in the woods. Do you open it immediately, debate it for 20 minutes, or bury it again and walk away?
Well, my characters would definitely debate over it. I would want to open it immediately because I did not put that in the story. I need to know what it is. But my characters would be like, should we?
I'm nosy. I would have to open it.
Yeah.
And then once I knew, I would bury it and walk away.
Yeah, I'd definitely be like, why is it locked? I want to open it! And smash it on trees. It's terrible.
So confession time, yay!
Okay, yay.
What book absolutely terrified you when you were younger?
I don't know if a book necessarily terrified me. Well, I guess like Jane Eyre kind of creeped me out with the description of the Red Room because it went on and on forever. But I think like the thing that terrified me the most as a kid was watching Beauty and the Beast, the scene with the wolves, like the forest scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those always terrified me, and that was like my favorite movie. Like my dad will recount of when I was 3 years old coming into the room being like, I want to watch Beauty and the Beast today. Like very insistent that it had to be today, even with the little hand motion. So yeah, I was very much like all about that Beauty and the Beast life, which I think kind of altered my brain chemistry in a way, which is why I sort of also like, kind of horror-ish stuff mixed with some romance. So that was the thing that I remember just like really, really terrified me. When it came to books, I was much more like just reading anything and everything. I did read Jane Eyre a little bit earlier than I should have, but yeah, that was more just kind of, I was just trying to like process what was happening.
Jane Eyre is creepy though. Like people don't give it enough credit for its creepiness, and they're all like, "Oh, what? Like it's like a ghost story?" I'm like, "No, that crazy bitch is in the attic. Like it's terrifying."
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if your partner's ex lived in the house in the attic and was trying to constantly light you on fire? Like it would just.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire, if Between the Shadows had a campfire ghost story version told in the shortest version possible, what would the last line be?
And then he died.
And then he died.
And then he died.
Yes.
Title of the interview.
So when readers, that's fair. That's fair. We don't require another spoiler just yet.
Okay.
We don't.
When readers finish your book, do you want them to do it with the lights on or off?
I want them to do it with the lights on. I kind of want to leave them with a little bit of a feeling. I more than anything, I just want them to be like, I really want to like go hug my mom after they finish it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And finally, and we ask this of all of our guests, is there anyone that you would like to thank today who helped you get the book out? Anyone from workshop partners to editors, publishers, and so on. And if you did all the work, then thank yourself, because that is a lot of work to do alone.
Self high five. Well, I do want to thank my publisher, Row and Prose Publishing, for taking a chance on it and agreeing to publish it. And also my friend Alan, they were really helpful, like doing beta reading at the beginning. They were also my writing buddy for a big length of the summer that I wrote it, where we would meet up in one of my favorite cafes in Dublin and just, chat, write, have some wine after we wrote to be like, we did, X amount of words today, let's go. So, yeah.
Nice. And before we officially go, where can we find you online?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, and also Twitter. I can't remember my Twitter username. It's been a while since I've logged onto Twitter. But I think it's in my bio, and for everything else, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, it's writer Anastasia 26.
Writer Anastasia 26.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying up with us. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at BookedAllNightPod. Drop a comment to let us know what you thought of today's show, and join our Discord server for giveaways, excerpts, and more. It's still in the works, but we're aiming for 100 members. Catch our live author interviews on YouTube and leave a question for our guests on our Discord server. Check out our shop and website at bookedallnight.co. That's bookedallnight.co. And if you're loving the chaos, don't forget to rate us 5 stars. Until next time, booklets, and remember to stay booked all night.